Worried residents living in hazardous conditions and a landlord who isn't happy to see our cameras.
They're taking our money and doing nothing to improve our living situation.
Tonight, Help Me Hank exposing the violations inside this Midtown apartment building and revealing what the owner is now doing to make things right.
Thanks in part to WAPIV, there's greater attention to this building and to getting the inspectors out there to get the work done.
And those living in the Sheridan Court Apartments reached out to Help Me Hank after they say their concerns were being ignored by their landlord.
Well, now the city is taking action and management trying to tackle this big problem. Here's our consumer investigator, Hank Winchester, with more.
The inspection reports I obtained from the city, they tell part of the story. But I want to take you inside this building and show you how people have been living. Charred walls, gaping holes, mushrooms growing on the inside. Yes, mushrooms. Welcome to the Sheridan Court Apartments in the heart of hip Midtown Detroit, just around the corner from Shinola. This building has one of the hottest addresses in town, but on the inside, living here has become a hazard for some.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Emily Willems lives in the building. A nearby unit caught fire in March, and in May, things still looked like this on her floor. When I visited, nothing had been done to block this mess off.
It smells like a barbecue gone wrong.
A different floor, a different problem. Mushrooms growing inside an apartment. This issue has now been resolved, but the tenant was sharing these photos and the video too scared to show his face on camera, and with good reason. The day I arrived to meet Emily, this man, Bob Johnson, who said he was the building landlord, not only tried to block our camera, but also served Emily with an eviction notice. The building management says Emily was served an order by the city of Detroit to vacate because of the danger.
I got served a 7-day notice to vacate the premises because I've tried to take action against the injustice that's happening.
We obtained the inspection reports, which revealed a number of issues, and not just on the floor affected by the fire. Everything from a lack of smoke alarms to previous rodent issues.
We know that these landlords would not want to live in these situations themselves.
David Bell is the director of Detroit's Building and Safety Department.
And any manager looking at a mushroom should say, we've got to do something about this immediately. The fact that they didn't is very frustrating.
Work at the building now being done at a rapid pace, an effort to avoid racking up even more costly fines.
We were waiting for the insurance company and for the city to give us the approvals to move forward with fixing the problem.
Dan Sheeran, a spokesperson for P&B Investments, which owns the building, put some of the blame on city inspectors who he claims canceled appointments, slowing down the repair process.
A fire occurred. They were waiting.
Some of these issues are not even fire related. That's on a completely different floor.
So I'm sorry. So again, I don't know what floors these are from.
But they're from the building, and people shouldn't be living in conditions like that. The city says it, and these pictures and our video prove it.
Crews have been working to correct the problems, and the city says major progress has recently been made. As for Emily, who is now temporarily living with family members, she's now getting some help she'd been waiting for since March.
She can come back to the building. They would welcome to come back to the building in another unit, bigger unit, whatever's available. They want to make a whole with her, and so they're also giving her back her deposit, which I have, and we'd be happy to deliver that to you or to give that to you as well.
How closely will your team be keeping an eye on this building?
Very closely. We've got to get them to the finish line.
As you heard management say, the focus right now, making sure all those violations are corrected. The city will have an inspector back, and we'll be back to make sure these violations are taken care of once and for all. I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
You just said it right. What'd you say?
Hank is on it.
Hank is on it.
He's going to be on it.
In fact, he's already busy working on tomorrow night's special report, too.
A locally owned business severely damaged, forced to close. The owner putting the blame on his neighbor. A huge national chain, one of the most popular quick eateries out there.
I thought they were going to compensate me for my clear lost business.
A legal battle playing out for 3 years.
We hear these stories about how these big businesses are bad people and they're not looking out for the small guy. And you want to believe that that's not true until you have an experience like this.
How can a small business owner take on the big guys? Our story tomorrow at 11.